Hello, welcome to Undisputed Boxing. It's prediction time. Fight week. Excitement is in the air. AJ Usyk is almost upon us. Saturday night at the Tottenham ground. AJ defends, officially mandated to fight Oleksandr Usyk. I'm here with Rick. We're going to throw out our predictions for the fight, how we see it going. How are we doing?
Very good. Away with work, hence the different background. But yeah, all good.
Okay, good stuff. So I'll go first, as you always seem to go first. How do I see this one going? I think I'm going to go AJ late stoppage, so between the rounds of 9 and 12. I think it's going to be pretty cagey for the first maybe 3 or 4 rounds. I think it's going to be really important I think AJ is going to have a lot of difficulty with his with Usyk's footwork. I think it's going to be really important that he kind of tries to disrupt his kind of rhythm, if possible, and try and take center of the ring, back him up, make sure he's cutting off the ring, put him under pressure. Make sure he doesn't allow any kind of sort of rhythm. I think if he gets into his rhythm and is able to kind of spin off out of the pockets as he did with Chisora, which I don't think he'll be able to do as easily with AJ, because I think AJ is going to be seek and destroy mode is what I'm sort of going for. So I'm going to go late stoppage AJ and a destructive performance.
Okay. I mean, we're doing this without seeing any of the the weights that the guys are coming in, but it does seem that Joshua seems to be light, if not lighter than he's been before. So we are expecting to be around, the lightest he's been is 16, 13, I think. So one pound off 17. And then I think last time he was 17. So probably around that. And Usyk looks like he will put on more, but it's hard to know exactly what. I think I'm with you in terms of it being cagey. I'm with you in terms of I think Joshua will kind of put it on him a bit more towards the end. I think it will be a points win by Joshua. I think it will be quite nip and tuck, and it will be. I don't necessarily think Usyk will have loads of success in terms of landing on Joshua or nothing over dangerous, but I think Joshua will struggle to score early as well. So some of those rounds could be a bit nip and tuck. And then, especially if Usyk put on weight, I think he will kind of slow down a bit. And it'll be a bit easier for Joshua. I think towards the end, Joshua will be really going for it. And I think Usyk will just have enough to survive and get through it. I think Joshua will all through the fight find it hard to tag him absolutely clean. And I still don't think Joshua is really a one punch knockout artist. He is a number of punches person, accumulation, and therefore that's why I think he'll struggle with the knockout, because I think he'll struggle to hit Usyk several times clean in one round. Which I think is what he'd have to do to knock him out. I think he might crack him, and he might wobble and hang on and just keep enough about him that elusive enough to survive. And I don't think it will be, when they rack it all up, I don't think it will be a very wide points either. I think it could be quite close. And I wouldn't mind even betting at the point it's close enough where some of the Joshua haters will say he's lost.
Yeah, it's not bad. I actually expect Usyk to maybe win the first half of the fight. I wouldn't be surprised if this maybe 4-2 up on the cards. Actually, I think first few rounds, I think. Do you think this is his toughest fight from a skills perspective, boxing skills and boxing capability perspective? I think it probably is. I don't think he's faced anybody with the boxing skill of Usyk before.
Well, it is with this definitely skill-wise. It's just someone could be the most skillful fighter in the world, but then it just gets overridden by size and power. So for skill-wise, it's definitely is, because you'd probably say Usyk's more skillful than Fury. Do you know what I mean? So he's more skillful than most boxers, but it's like how much of that will count, and will he have lost any of it a little bit with his size? So if he's put on a lot of muscle, will he just be that little bit slow? And it's all fractions, isn't it, at the top level? He's just that fraction slower for moving away, and he can't quite get out of range of a punch. So, I mean, I look at it in terms of the last two fights I've seen him, you know, the only two fights I've seen him in with, and the Witherspoon fight, I kind of gave him a pass on that, thinking, well, it was his first fight at heavyweight. He probably was struggling to get up for that fight. But then the Chisora fight, I think he did win it, but it was far from a convincing win. And yes, he had Chisora maybe in a bit of trouble at some stage, but Chisora, I don't think Chisora ever had him wobbled, but Chisora had him where you could clearly see he was like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So if Chisora can get him uncomfortable, you'd like to think Joshua could get him very uncomfortable more than on one occasion, which will be enough to win it. I just don't think he'll be able to tag him cleanly enough times to knock him out. Might be wrong. I mean, with all this, I think, you know, if someone says, is it unrealistic Joshua knocks him out? Not really. I just think that's the way it's going to go. I struggle to see Usyk knocking Joshua out. I don't think it's unrealistic that Usyk could win on points as well.
Yeah. I can't remember. Is there a rematch clause in this one?
The one-way rematch clause. Yeah.
Yeah, one-way rematch clause. Yeah.
Yeah. I think obviously the other thing as well is that, you know, don't like to say it, but like Joshua's on home ground. There's a huge crowd going to be cheering every punch. So if it's close, he'll get the nod. But I don't know. He's been quite quiet during this. He's obviously known for a while he's going to fight Usyk. You know, I think he's got the few times we've seen. Well, the one time we've seen AJ come unstuck, I don't think he was fully prepared. I think he, you know, when he knows what's in front of him. And he's fully prepared, I think that's when you see the best of him. And so I think, you know, if AJ doesn't win this, it won't be because he's not ready, it's because he's not good enough.
Yeah. All right, fair shout. So you're going points, I'm going late stoppage. Are we doing a prediction on any of the undercard? I think it's a fairly one-sided undercard, really, isn't it? Is a co-lead chief support?
Yeah, it's all too a bit one-sided, really. I mean, a very good main event and not one-sided. You know, a favourite, but not one-sided. But yeah, the rest for me is a bit thingy. I mean, a Coley should deal with his opponent and just move on to other things, really.
Yeah.
Are we going to touch on the contract while we're on with AJ?
Yeah. I think the news broke this afternoon, didn't it? I was checking Twitter about a few hours ago, and I saw that come through. I didn't even know that they were in discussions about renewing their contract. I knew that this was their last fight this Saturday. So yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Very surprised. Not surprised he signed, just the life thing and how that works. You know, it's almost like if he fought for 4 years and retired and then came back 2 years later, he'd have to be under Matchroom apparently. So life is life. So just surprised at that bit, really. Yeah,
it is a strange one how that seems to be getting a lot of positive kind of review from you know journalists and whatnot, and that's like, oh, that's really great to see. And then when Daniel Dubois signs a 4-year contract with Frank Warren, he's kind of heavily criticized. So
I think I think it's a dangerous game for boxers to play. To sign a long deal, especially a life deal. I think AJ is a little bit different. He's absolutely established, and even if he got beat, it'd still be Matchroom's golden gem. Yeah. The danger about signing a long deal is that you get beat or you have some bad results and you suddenly slip away, and suddenly you're less important. If AJ got sparked out by Usyk, it'd still be the biggest fighter they've got.
Yeah, 100%.
Even if had a rematch and got sparked out, it'd still be the biggest fighter they've got.
Yeah. The only concern I have with him signing such a lengthy contract, and I'm not, I try to be as objective, and I know you do as well, on promotional companies and fighters and whatnot. I obviously just want to see the best fight the best, and I just wonder if signing this contract with Eddie Hearn is going to kind of potentially kill the Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fights down the line, because they those Fury and Wilder, whoever's managing them promotionally, they clearly don't get on very well with Eddie Hearn. There's this kind of power struggle, and that is definitely what's got in the way before. But yeah, I don't know. I hope I'm proved wrong, and hopefully, Fury beats Wilder and AJ beats Usyk, and we get that fight next year.
I mean, another way, it could be a masterstroke to say, listen, if you guys over the other side want to make a history fight, you have to come over here now, because this guy's here forever. The problem is, I'm not so sure. Like your Wilders and that are that bothered about legacy.
The $1 million question now is which network he's going to go with, and I wonder if he's just going to do something similar to Canelo, where for the network it'll be a fight-by-fight deal, but obviously with Matchroom, he's Matchroom for life. But I'm saying all that. I think it is good that he has shown loyalty and he's kind of sticking to his guns. So it is good to see that.
I think it sounds like it's leaning towards Sky. I think Adam Smith did an interview where he was almost indicating it's likely to be Sky, and Hearn was really playing down kind of the zone element of it. So I get the feeling, the way they're talking, their positioning, it's almost going to be Sky, I think.
Really? Well, like a multi-fight deal with Sky?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, interesting. All right, cool.
I think as well what they're saying, what Hearn said before as well, he's almost like, you go into zone, we've got all this money to spend on boxers, and you got people like Dillian White then that's like a pay-per-view fighter but makes, just sells the 200-300s. They can go onto the zone and be happy, and it commercially works. But and there's not the pressure of having to sell pay-per-view, but then there are stars that will just outshine the subscription, and there should always be a pay-per-view model behind.
Yeah, I agree with that actually. Yeah, I think it. And if AJ does go on to DAZN, then DAZN then goes up to like $19.99 a month.
Yeah, or they start doing pay-per-views.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. All right, cool. Well, let's wrap it up, and then we'll do a quick news video as well. I think there's quite a lot of news that we need to catch up on. Thanks everybody for listening. Please like and subscribe.